This is the simplest way to get strong and jacked. Part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, close out of this reel, go to my profile and watch that first. We're going to be building upon the same ideas that I talk about in that video. So just to recap, there's only 4 things you need to know. Focus on lifts you enjoy doing. Introduce variations that address problems as they come up doing the target lifts. Add in exercises with similar movement patterns, but at differing levels of stability. And lastly, train movements that work the same muscle groups. In part 1, I use the example of a squat, which is pretty basic, so why don't we make it interesting and throw in, a barbell curl. We're gonna apply the same 4 principles, but because we're using a different exercise, they will manifest in a slightly different way. So starting from the top, we're gonna dedicate the majority of our bicep training to the barbell curl. We are also going to do the barbell curl at the beginning of the workout. It's first in line because it's the priority. Keep progressing with the barbell curl until you notice progress start to stall, and then become curious, see at what points during the movement you have problems, and then introduce variations that will address those problems. You can even do paused curls if you want. You don't really see that very often. You could stop at 90 degrees during the curl, finish the rep, and go back down. You could do forced lengthen partials to where you do the set full range of motion until you can't move the bar quite as high up, and you just burn out those partials until you go to or beyond failure. So up to this point, we've dedicated the majority of our training resources to the main lift and variations of the main lift. Now we have a third option opened up, which is a similar movement pattern, but with a differing level of stability. A good option might be a preacher curl, where you set your arms on the bench and you isolate the biceps even more so without any of the possible swaying or momentum that you might encounter just doing barbell curls. Step number 4 is probably going to look the most different compared to the last video when we were talking about the squat, mainly because we're dealing with an isolation exercise now instead of a compound movement. A helpful variation that you could introduce into your training is a compound exercise that allows you to load the biceps beyond what you would be able to doing any of those exercises in the first 3 steps. A good example of this is a chin-up, to where you're in a supinated position, the back is able to assist the movement, handling more weight than you otherwise could just doing the barbell curl, and you might actually get a more powerful stimulus. You could front load this at the beginning of this whole process and have the chin-up be the target movement, but if we're trying to improve the barbell curl, we want the training to be as specific as possible, but we'd still get a ton of benefit from overloading a movement like a chin-up, to where we can use a lot of weight, but still target the biceps. And this would be a great option for you. You can plug in any exercise to this progression and it'll function a very similar way. It's hyper specific, it addresses problems as they come up, and it will allow you to enjoy your training by focusing on the exercises you really like doing. So it's a win-win all across the board. If you'd like to learn more about how to design your training around these 4 pillars, comment the word build down below. I'll send you a free comprehensive guide. And if you want to work with me personally, go to the link in my bio for one-on-one coaching.